right, are you ready to dive in? I'm so excited for you again. Oh my god, you are going on a magical journey. And before we completely go there, I want you to see the overview. I want you to understand the steps. And I want you to know where this all is going to lead towards. Okay? So maybe when you're going on this journey, and let's, change the word maybe for the word probably, you're going to get confused on some point. And I want you to know that's a good thing, because you're going to learn new information. You're going to practice a new skill. You're going to integrate this in a different way that you might be used to. So of course you're going to have thoughts like, maybe I'm going to finish this tomorrow, or maybe I'm not good enough, or I don't know if I truly have a story worth sharing, or all that. Yeah, what shall we call it? Interesting thoughts that might not be yours, but might find you when you get a little uncomfortable, which is totally okay. So right now I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna pre-frame you over here. This is gonna be a fun lesson, okay? I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna hope you're gonna have fun with me, because this is a way of teaching that you can incorporate. It doesn't always have to be so strict. Everything has to do with how we get our aim across. And I'm going to show you, okay? So I'm going to show you in different ways how all these building blocks, all these different pieces are going to come together. So you already know where you're working on, so you work with the end in mind, okay? So what you might know about me is that I'm an amazing public speaker, like incredible. No, I'm joking. So what you might not know is that I am actually not a good drawer, but with the end in mind, I'm gonna share on a piece of paper how you can see it. By the way, there's different ways of learning. There's things that you can see. There's people who rather, have bullet pointed lists, and there's people who love to feel that they are getting into the right direction. So what you will notice when you maybe watch this training for a second time, yes, let's overachieve, let's just go through it and really absorb the information. You will notice once you start to pick up on more things and get to be aware of more details, that all these things are in there. Okay, so we're gonna look at what this transformation looks like. Okay, first of all, we really want to make a fundament of the transformation. And the first step is to create your aim. And your aim is basically this dot, this North Star, this place where you always know, I'm doing it for this. Whatever I'm going to build on the journey, what I'm going to create, what decisions I'm going to make, it's always to achieve a certain goal. So that's the first thing that you're going to do. You're going to define what the goal is, what you're actually going for. And maybe this sounds so obvious, but trust me, it's not. I get a lot of people who want to become a TEDx speaker or have applied and got selected, and now they have to create their talk, and then they still don't know what really their goal is. And that's the first step I always do with everybody I work with. What is your aim? So that's what you're going to define first, okay? Then, when you have your aim, you want to really familiarize yourself with your audience. Where are they and where do they want to go? And how I call it is, you first want to understand, we're having colors, we're going fancy, where they are now, okay? So where are they now? What do they feel? What do they see? What do they hear? What do they observe? What are they going through right now? Because if we don't connect with this first, we won't bring them to what I call the new. This is your revelation, your new insight, what you've experienced. You probably went here and now you have some new information. You can show people, look, I know you don't like this red part, but I've been there too, or I've seen people there, or this is what I know is possible, and I know it's for you right now, right? And then people will be like, oh my God, you understand me, you see me, thank you so much. And then you say, this doesn't have to be there forever. You can experience all this too. Who would love to just consider the possibility of this, right? So, and then you come, I have the way to get there. it's a 3-step formula. Basically, it's number 1, number 2, and number 3. And when you do this, you get from here to there. That's basically the fundament of your story. And again, this might sound so obvious and seem so simple, but you're going to see when you're going through the process that this overview is actually really, really, really nice. Okay? So now you build a frame. You know where you want to go. You know where people are now. And you go to what is new. I see I made a mistake here. So there we go. So now you want to make this a magical experience, right? You want to include storytelling to this. So now you're going to define, okay, how am I going to explain all of this? Not just facts, right? You're a transformational speaker who's going to integrate learnings for other people. So you're going to define some stories. So for example, you're going to pick one story, and that is going to be the way you're going to teach all of this. So in this story, you're going to explain where people are now, you're going to explain what the new situation is, and you're going to integrate these 3 things. Now another way is, for example, if you have one story that shares the example of where people are now, and then you create a transition moment, and then you tell a second story, a second moment in your life, a second scene. And that is going to be a second story. Now you see that you then from one story, or let's just stay here for a moment. So the next step is that you're going to pick your right stories. Now, if we want to go advanced and I just want to show you what's possible, I really don't want you to go here immediately at all. At all. Don't confuse, don't make it too hard. Just go for either one or 2 stories. But I want to show you what's possible. Because once you start to play around with it and you start to practice and you understand how to create stories, how to make them memorable, all those beautiful things, you can say, you know what, I have a storyline over here with 2 different stories, and I'm going to go out of the story for this quick story, and then I'm going back to the main through line. And I'm going to do a picture statement, you're going to learn what that is right here, and then you create this thing where on some point you go back from this story in this storyline to this moment in time, and then add this part. So then create this kind of a loop, and then when you go here, the revelation from this story, and maybe even here, this comes together and people are like, oh my God. So just know that this might seem simple, but you can make it as simple and as easy and as complicated and easy as you wish, right? And you don't come to this complicated part before building out the basics. So that's what we're going to do first. Now, as you see, you're going to bring one part and attach it to a second part. And I draw this thing, and this is the transition. Because after you pick the right story to explain the transformation, we want to glue it together. And that's where you're going to understand how to do that, right? You have a beginning even, you have the end, and we want to make sure that it's smooth so people feel that they're engaged the whole time, they're following you from beginning to end, you feel comfortable, oh my God, this might sound crazy, but listen, this is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get at the end. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So, when you have this incredible, beautiful masterpiece, you are going to go to the last part, which is the optimization of this whole thing. So now you've built this, right? It's beautiful. Come on now, it's beautiful. But now you are going to see, wait, this is a little, Lori, is not really beautiful attached. Okay, great. Maybe now it's just black, but we are going to color this part. It's going to be blue, okay? And this is going to be blue. And you are going to understand, you're going to learn different lenses. You're going to understand different parts that you can look through to really optimize your talk. Now, I'm going to tell you, that process is never finished because there's always a new lens to look through, a new way to look at things. What I just said is there's different communication styles, there's different so many. So every time you accomplished one level, you go to the next unfoldingness of the transformation. We start all with the basics. If you are thinking right now, Lori, you say the word simple a lot of times. This doesn't seem simple to me. And when you share all of this, I'm more doubtful if I'm actually good enough for all of this. And now new, I don't even know 3 teaching points. I don't have those. I don't know what you're talking about, Lori. Chill out, okay? Chill out. We're together on this ride. I've done this a couple of times. I've helped some people with this, okay? We're gonna do this together. We're gonna do this together, step by step. The only thing that I need from you is saying yes to that next video every single time. Saying yes to the action step. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't allow thoughts in your brain that tell you this is not perfect. Or when they come, you can say, I know, but as a transformational speaker, I don't care about perfection anyways. I care about progress, so I'm keeping going. You just talk back to those voices. You got this, okay? And I have more ways of explaining this to really, really anchor this in an emotional way. So you are, when these doubts or thoughts are coming, you can go back to this video, go back to this understanding. This is what it is about. Because sometimes we go too much into details, but this is what it's about. Let's just imagine that you are helping people from a certain place. Let's call it a plastic cup. It's a small size. There's not a lot of amazing lemon water that fits here. It's plastic. There's all kinds of, I don't know, unhealthy things about this. It's an ugly color. It breaks really fast. It's not useful. This is not where people want to stay, right? But you're going to learn this in the video. We want to emphasize, we want to explain people what it is they're having now, because when they are not seen, heard, or understood, when they don't feel that, they're not willing to go with you to the solution. So we have to stay here for a moment. So we have to say, are you the person who feels like an empty cup that's plastic and very small and not a lot of water fits in here? And then people feel heard, feel understood, feel seen. And then when you say something like, who would love to go to their next level? Or who would love to even consider that a different way of living is possible? We don't need to convince people of the golden egg, the extreme golden opportunities, because some people might not even believe it's possible. If I would say to you, within a week I can help you to get a paid speaker and be phenomenal on stage with 100% confidence, you might think, well, actually, Lori, let's go. Or you might think, wow, I don't even believe that could be me, right? So use this emotional journey that you are on right now with speaking also as an example to really go through again what your audience is going through. It's not always easy. So stand with them, walk with them, speak their language. So if this is you, and you want to consider a new option, I have 3 steps, 1, 2, and 3. And then you can experience all of this. Oh my God, this is glass. It's so good for you. It's transparent. You can see it, lemon water. Oh my God, it's so big. You will be revitalized. You will be hydrated all the way to the bottom. This is amazing. And this is, and then you tell the story about this part. You see, you have the now, and then the new. You have a bridge that brings people from this to this in 3 steps. And then you're going to use stories to explain the whole situation. Last example, okay? Using Lego. Because stories, I also call them Lego blocks. Again, you're going to learn more about it later on. But I also want you to get a preview now. So, let's imagine that there's a situation where people are in right now. And then you want to bring them to a newer situation. These can be storylines, right? So this is one story, and this is another story. Or this is the fundament. This is the next level of the fundament. What we want to do now is we want to attach them together, because now there are 2 separate things. We want to create one storyline. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build a bridge. We're going to build a bridge that is going to bring people from where they are now to that newer realization. And right now, I'm struggling with this thing. Right now, they're attached. Look. So now you build the basics of your storyline. You have your foundation of the now. You have your foundation of the new. This is one storyline, and you build the bridge in between. But we're not finished, right? We want an opening on one side, and we want the close on the other side. So now we up-leveled. This is the basics that you're going to create. Oh my God, doesn't look this amazing, right? But when you start to look through different lenses, how to optimize, how to make it even better, you're going to see, oh my God, I can add a story right here. So I'm going from the beginning to the basics of the story. I'm going to go to a separate part of story, and then I'm going back to the storyline. I am going to do that here as well. And now this is already a little bit more next level, a little bit more advanced. So now you're going to look through a different lens of the optimization, and you're going to add some, I don't know what this is. This is some impactful stuff over here, okay? Some glam, some glam. You're going to see, you know what? The end, that should not be this. I'm going to try a different one. I'm just gonna put this out. I attached it so hard. There we go. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try a different story. So now you're going to be a bit adaptive. And you know what? I want to optimize this transition because it seems not too stable. I'm going to stabilize this. I'm going to optimize this through the lens of the optimizations. And I'm going to make this a little bit more stable. And you know what? I'm going to glue it together in a way as well. Look. And now your storyline comes together. Now your transitions are smoother. Now everything is in alignment. This is a whole experience where people are going to see, feel, hear, and know. It's about them, and you have something to offer them. And then this is the jumping board for them to go to a next level with you, because real transformational speakers know that this is just the beginning and not the end. Right? I hope you start to see the bigger picture of all of this, of the whole scope of all these different elements. And in all the chapter, in all the buckets, you're going to learn more about every single detail. When I now say fundament and now and new, you're going to exactly know what that means, and you're going to create yours. When I say stories, we're going to dive into so much of storytelling, why it's so important, why the value of you as a transformational speaker does not only increase just by, getting the authority of becoming on stage and you sharing pictures of you with a mic and all those beautiful things. The authority of the host is going to directly be leveraged onto you, but also that the act of just storytelling can give you permission to raise your prices, because the perceived value of you as a speaker just increases. You're going to learn all that beautiful stuff. Just know that this is where it all leads to. That transformation, that radiance of love, that integration of change. That's what this is all about. And the journey that you're on right now, that certainly is going to give you thoughts and feelings and things and doubts and celebrations and moments of highs and moments of lows. That's the exact transformation that your audience is going to experience through your talk. So embracing the fullness and the richness of this whole experience, that's what I'm going to wish for you. And to have some fun along the way, to think back of this beautiful drawing when you are going through the different modules, so you know how this all ties together. Okay? So now you have the picture. Now you have the specific action steps. Let's go for it, shall we? Let's continue this magical ride and dive right in. Head first. Transformational speaker, I celebrate you. I celebrate you for being brave, for being authentic, for being you. There's no better you on this whole planet. So let's show people who you are in clarity, conviction, and certainty, and clarity, and all those beautiful things. Let's go.